Good morning student. Today I Purnima welcome you to my class and I am going to teach you the poem A Tiger in the Zoo written by Leslie Norris. So children, first of all I would like to tell you about the poet, then I would like to tell you about the theme or the central idea, then its style, and finally the short summary of the poem, and then the explanation of the poem will be done. So first I would like to tell you about the poet Leslie Norris. Leslie Norris was a famous Welsh poet and short story writer. He was born in 1921 in Wales. Leslie Norris had decided even at an early age that he would become a poet. He was very much interested in the poems of Dylan Thomas and Vernon Watkins. So these two poets are there, and at a very early age he was very much interested in these two poets and he had read many poets written by them. So his first poem was published in 1938. So children, his first poem was published in 1938, but his first book of poetry came out in 1943. In July 1942, Norris married Catherine, better known as Kitty. They moved to England and trained themselves to be teachers. He shot to fame with his first publication, Finding Gold. His works won various awards including the Clonomondelli Poetry Prizes and the Catherine Mansfield Memorial Award. Leslie died in 2006. Now, central idea of the poem: that tiger is a proud creature. It is shame that such a powerful, agile and untamable animal should be kept in a zoo in its natural and wild habitat. So children, it is not good that we should keep such a powerful animal in a zoo and we should tell him not to visit his natural and wild habitat, that is the forest. He doesn't need help of any kind to hunt its own food. His hunting of deer at the water hole may seem rather cruel. He hunts not for pleasure but for food. His presence in the natural habitat is necessary to maintain the balance of food chain. Sometimes the tiger may stray into human habitations. He only displays his strength and ferociousness, but he doesn't harm anyone till he is provoked. Even in the cage, he ignores all those who come to the zoo to see him as an entertainment. Like human being, the tiger too loves and values his freedom. He shows his anger, hatred and even defiance by walking about in race in his cage. Human progress should not be at the cost of destroying the natural habitat of untamable and proud animals like the tiger. Style: the poem consists of 5 stanzas. Each is made of 4 lines. The rhyme scheme is A B C D. A B C B, A B C B, A B C B, A B C B. The poem has 2 distinct settings. The first setting is that of the zoo, where the tiger is put in a cage. The second setting is that of the natural wild habitat of the tiger, which should have been his real place. The personification of the tiger is evident as the poet calls him he and not it. The metaphor pad for velvet is used effectively in the third line of the first stanza. The tense tone represent the hidden rage of the tiger. Short summary. Walks in quiet rage. The dweller of the forest is forcefully put in a cage. The tiger is caged in a zoo. There is his artificial habitat. He walks in quiet rage. The stripes on his body are very distinct and can be easily seen. So children, here two types of theme is given for the tiger. First is when the tiger is in zoo, and second when he lives in his natural habitat. Okay, when he lives in his natural habitat. So let us see. One time the poet has used one time this one, and the other time he has shown this theme in the whole poem. So now the tiger walks in quiet rage. Now the first point is that tiger walks in quiet rage. Okay. So the dweller of the forest is forcefully put in a cage. The tiger is caged in a zoo. There is his artificial habitat. He walks in quiet rage. Rage means he is very angry. He is very angry when he is walking. The stripes on his body are very distinct and can be easily seen. The stripes are darker in color than the rest of his coat. The tiger moves very softly and quietly with his pads of velvet, but the range of his movement is limited. He goes on moving around within the confines of his cage. The tiger doesn't relish the stares of the onlooker in his zoo. His rage or anger is suppressed. He should have been in his natural habitat. Now my second point is he should be in his natural habitat. He should be in his natural habitat. The poet mourns that the zoo is not the rightful place of the tiger. He is a denizen of jungle. His real place is in the wild. Had he been in the wild, he would have been lurking around its shadow. He must have been sliding quietly through the long grass to kill the deers for his food. We should be using the long grass and shadows as necessary covers to keep his movement undetected. He would know where he could get his favorite hunt, the plum deer. He should approach the water hole quietly where animals and deer come to drink water. Now, third point is terrorizing the villagers. Terrorizing the villagers. Had the tiger been in the forest, sometime he would stray into human settlement. He would stray around the outskirts of the village. These human settlements are at the jungle's edge. On seeing the villager, he would open his long sharp teeth and claws to terrorize the resident or the villagers. But it would be just a show of power and strength to the villagers. He would have no intention of killing the villagers and entering their houses. The poet tries to say that generally the tiger never attacks till he is highly provoked. Killing is not his hobby, but only the necessity of his food. Now children, the fourth point is the tiger is not in his natural habitat, the wilds. Now tiger is shown that he is not in his natural habitat or in a wild. Unfortunately, he is locked in a concrete cell of a zoo. His powerful and strong body is of no use to him as he is put behind the bars. His movements have been limited. He is continuously moving about the length and breadth of his cage. He doesn't relish the curious stare of the visitor. He simply ignores their presence. 5. Remains awake till late at night. The poet describes how the day ends for the tiger. He doesn't go to sleep till the late hours of the night. He hears the sound of the car of the zoo official patrolling at night. The stars shine brightly in the sky, and so do his brilliant eyes at night. He is constantly looking at the brilliant star. Also, he watches the brilliant star only behind the bar of his cage. So, these are the main points. Once again, I would like to share all the important points of the poem. So, children, in this poem the writer has told about a tiger and about his two habitat where he lives. One, when he is caught, he is kept in a zoo. How does he feel? How a mighty creature, such a powerful creature cannot do anything. He finds himself so helpless behind the bar of the zoo. And then how he acts when he is inside the zoo. Okay. The tiger is not in his natural habitat. The wilds or the jungle is the natural habitat of the tiger. Unfortunately, the denizen of the forest has been confined to a caged habitat in a zoo. He is no more free to roam about in the forest, but walks within the length and breadth of his cage. He has dark spots on his skin which are clearly visible even from a distance. Condemned to live in his cage, he walks around quietly with his velvety, soft feet. He is angry but has to suppress it. In his quiet rage, he continues walking up and down his caged habitat. The poet imagines that the tiger should behave if he is in his natural habitat, the wild jungle. There who should be silently hiding himself in the shadow remains unnoticed. Sliding through the long grass, he should move stealthily to ambush his prey. He knows where he can find his kill in the wild. His favorite hunt is a plum deer which he can find near the water hole. Sometimes he comes out of the forest and stray in human settlement at the edge of the jungle. There he terrorizes the villagers by opening out his white fangs or the long teeth and the claws. His ferocious look frightened the villagers. However, he has no intention of entering the village and killing anybody till he is highly provoked. Unfortunately, the mighty tiger is cursed to live in a concrete cell in the zoo. Many visitors come to see him in the zoo, but he doesn't like the stares of the visitor. He simply ignores their presence. Now he is made to limit his movement only to the length and breadth of his caged habitat. The tiger keeps awake till late in the night. He hears the noise of the patrolling car moving around the zoo. The tiger keeps awake till late at the night and he hears the patrolling car which moves around the zoo. The brilliant stars shining in the sky and his brilliant eyes shine in the night. He can't free himself but he keeps on watching the brilliant star standing behind the bars of his cage habitat. He stalks in his vivid stripe the few cage of his step of his cage on pads of velvet quiet in his quiet rage. Now I am reading the poem and then I will be discussing and I will be explaining the poem. Stanza 2. He should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass near the water hole where plump deer pass. Stanza 3. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge, baring his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. Now, stanza 4. But he is locked in a concrete cell, his strength behind bars, stalking the length of his cage, ignoring wisdom. Stanza 5th. He hears the last voice at night, the patrolling car, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. So children, my first paragraph, I am going to do the paraphrase of stanza 1. So, he stalked in his velvet stripe. Stalk means to walk in angry or proud way. Stalk means vivid, very bright. Vivid means very bright stripes or the long slide on the body. Cage means a box made of bars. Pads means cushion. Velvet is soft silk cloth. Quiet is making very little noise. Rage is quite angry. The tiger is bound in his cage. Stripes on his skin are clearly visible. His ears look like pads of velvet. On his pads of velvet, he walks quietly within his cage. The tiger is bound in the cage. Stripes on his skin are clearly visible. The long stripe, the black color stripe is clearly visible on the yellow skin. His heels look like pads of velvet. On his pads of velvet, he walks quietly within his cage. So children, here he is in the cage. He doesn't seem to be happy to be in his unnatural abode. So without showing his anger, he walks around quietly in his cage. He should be lurking in shadow. So what is the meaning of lurking, children? Waiting secretly. Waiting secretly. And shadow is darkness. Is sliding through long grass. Sliding through means moving quietly. So he is hiding in a shadow and moving quietly in a long grass near the water hole. Water holes, a small pool of water where the animal goes for drinking water. So that is known as water hole. So he is hiding near the water hole. Why he is hiding? He feels that if some animal will come, he will attack that animal and eat as his food. So that's why he is hiding in a long grass, looking quietly near the water hole where plump deer pass. Plump is fat and in this water hole lot of plump deer comes. So children, the tiger knows how to ambush his hunt. He doesn't attack by challenging his prey directly. He lies in the shade of tree unseen to his victim. He slides silently through the long grass before charging upon his hunt. He reaches silently to the water hole where plump and well-grown up deer come to drink water. Now stranger 3. He stood with snarling around houses at the jungle edge, baring his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. Snarling means making an aggressive growl and showing teeth. So around means in various direction. Now children, he is moving around the houses and he is showing his teeth just to frighten the natural the habitats who live there. Okay. And at the jungle edge means at the outer area of the jungle. He is moving near the around the houses and at the outer area of the jungle, bearing his white fangs, his claw. Bearing means he is not covered with, and white fangs, two long sharp teeth. So he is bearing his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing. Terrorizing means he is creating fear. Okay. So now, had he not been bound in the cage, the tiger would have been roaming around freely. He should have been rolling around the houses of the human settlement at the outskirts of the jungle. There he would open out his sharp, long white teeth and paws just to terrorize the villagers. So where should be the tiger snarling around? He should be snarling around the house of the human settlement. Where are the houses situated? At the edge of the jungle. How does he terrorize the villagers? He terrorizes the villagers by opening out his long sharp teeth and powerful claws. Does he really attack the villagers? No, he really doesn't attack, but only terrorizing the village. But he is locked in a concrete cell, his strength behind bars, stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitor. Lock means put under lock. So here lock means to put under lock. Concrete cell means a cell made of concrete, made of cement. The strength is power, behind is backward. Bar means present, ignoring means paying or no attention, and visitor person who visits. So unfortunately the tiger is not left free in the jungle but is locked in a cage which is made of concrete or cement in a zoo. His unbound strength is caged in behind the bars. They are locked in the cage. He walks around arrogantly, ignoring the visitor. He is not caring the visitor because that the same ego is still he is having. He still feel that he is, it is his bad luck that he has been locked, but still he feels that he is the most mightiest animal, most powerful animal in the world. They are locked in the cage. He walks around arrogantly, ignoring the visitor. So where the tiger is locked in a cage made up of concrete cell. The powerful tiger has been put behind the bar and he stalks proudly around the length of his cage. He hates to entertain the visitors and stalks proudly, just ignoring them. He hears a last voice at night, the patrolling car, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. So this is stanza 5. So first I will be telling you about the word meaning. Last word at night, the last voice heard at night. It might be of the gateman, of the security guard, or the person who is coming lastly on the road. Patrolling car, car which patrol to keep watch. That is a police car which keeps on patrolling. Steer is looked for a long time. Brilliant eyes, very bright eyes. So at night, the caged tiger hears the last voice of the patrolling car. Being locked in the cage, he looks towards the sky. He goes on staring the brilliant star that are shining freely in the sky like his brilliant eyes. Okay. Where is a tiger locked in? A tiger is locked in a cage in a zoo. Where does he hears at night? Hear the voice of the patrolling cars at night. Why does he stare at the brilliant star? Why do car patrol at night? Car patrol at night to supervise and safeguard the animal lost in the zoo. So children, this is all about this poem. I have done this poem, I have finished this poem, and next time we will be doing the question answer. With this I take a leave. Thank you and have a nice day ahead. Goodbye students. Bye bye.